Obviously, the big part of this episode is Mr. Ring-a-Ding, or Lux, who is obviously great in this episode. I think the design, animation, and visual effects for him look great, including the film scratch effects, him having his own soundtrack and sound effects, and the grotesque 3D version of him towards the end of the episode. Naturally, there's going to be a lot of comparisons to The Devil's Cord for this episode, which I've even drawn attention to in the intro of this video. And as much as I like Maestro a lot in The Devil's Cord, I do think Mr. Ring-a-Ding is personally better, not only as a concept, but also with the performance. Not that I didn't think the concept and performance of Maestro wasn't also good, but I do personally prefer this here to that. Speaking of the performance of Mr. Ring-a-Ding, or Lux, I think Alan Cumming was great in this role. He was a great pick, and obviously, even though he's appeared in the show before, no one's really going to notice because it's just a voice role and he's got a completely different accent. But it's interesting that even though this is a voiceover role and they've cast a fairly big actor in the role, they still went for a British actor to play the role, as although Alan Cumming lives in New York, I assume at least from Doctor Who Unleashed, he is a Scottish actor and he's just putting on an American accent. So if they were to cast another big name actor, but this time an actual American, who would you have wanted to see voicing Mr. Ring-a-Ding in this episode if it weren't Alan Cumming? Let me know in the comments down below. Like I'll discuss later on in this video, I do wish we got more of Mr. Ring-a-Ding in this episode, as he does kind of take a backseat once the Doctor and Belinda get trapped inside the screen, but I do also think this was likely due to budgeting issues when it comes to animating him, as contrary to popular belief, animation is not cheap and easy. It takes a lot of time and money to do something like this, which is why they've likely never done it before, or I say likely, we do actually know that because I believe Russell has commented on that in the past, saying that this was a story he's been thinking of for a while, but they've just not been able to pull it off yet, until now obviously. Reginald Pye is also a nice addition to this episode. At first I assumed he hadn't been taken by Mr. Ring-a-Ding because he was in the projector room and either wasn't seen by Mr. Ring-a-Ding or couldn't be gotten to after barricading himself in there. But I like that we actually get more depth to his character with Mr. Ring-a-Ding, or Lux, allowing him to spend time with his late wife in exchange for Reginald Pye, feeding him with films to be able to leave the cinema or at the very least stay alive. Because not only is it a nice justification to have this character here instead of just having the Doctor and Belinda, but it also is another nice use of Lux's abilities in this episode. And I also like that this comes back for the resolution of the story, which I'll get into later as well.